Namaste, Jai Bharat. This is again a Bangladesh story. Sometime back we saw the advisor to Bangladesh, Muhammad Yunus, Dr. Muhammad Yunus, of course, I respect his PhD, had gone to China and made such foolish comments that he guards the ocean. Guards the ocean, fine. And he, of course, had to be in the receiving end. And when he was visiting China, look at the army chief of Bangladesh, Wakharul Zaman. Wakharul Zaman went to visit to Russia. And after his visit, some Russian ships, battleships obviously, appeared in the Bay of Bengal. Now, what kind of picture are you getting? This army chief and the Bangladeshi advisor Dr. Yunus are seemingly or appear to be traveling in parallel lines. If you go further deeper into this, you will see another picture. Muhammad Yunus, after becoming advisor, had released all the Jamaat-e-Islami prisoners who were imprisoned by Sheikh Hasina. Begum Khalida Zia. Sheikh Hasina, was imprisoned in the jails by the former Bangladeshi Prime Minister. He releases all of them. There, an element of Jamaat-e-Islami who had controlled the students. And the students were instigated, all the drama happened. Need not repeat. The intricate stories, if you look at it, you can understand by yourselves. And these people were playing havoc. Now, the method of instigating people were radical Islam. That's where the Jamaat-e-Islami comes in picture. That's why many radical Islamist support states were initially funding them before President Trump came into power. Initially funding them, and they had their way. Obviously, they had their way. Now, in the meantime, what happened is there's an area in between Myanmar and Bangladesh called Arakan province, and the Arakan province is an area predominantly populated by Buddhists. That too, the first section of Buddhism is Theravada Buddhism, original Buddhism. The Mahayanism comes afterwards. Who knows us better than us? So, the Theravada Buddhism. Fundamentally, Buddhists are very peace-loving, calm, quiet people. And the Theravada Buddhism is even more so. Even more so. They are very patient and passionate and loving. Not just human beings. See, look, that's a knowledge tradition of Bharat. Knowledge tradition of Bharat includes all these things. They are paying respect to every aspect of the cosmos. So the such people. Now they were heavily infected by the Bengali section of Muslims, in the sense who are called the Rohingyans. The Rohingyans have nothing to do with Burma, because the people in Rakhine province, people in Myanmar, they speak their own language, which is Tibeto-Burman. And the Rohingyans speak Bangla, in abbreviated Bangla. Of course, every district will have a version of their mother tongue. That's, some people speak it differently, some people will speak it differently, but nonetheless, it's the same language. So they speak Bangla. So the fundamental Bengalis, the formation of Arakan Army was to oust Rohingyans from Rakhine province, and they succeeded. Then by then they became a swimming power, and they captured the border of Bangladesh to a large extent. They captured the river, and they captured also the port. These things are under their control. As today, they are also fighting the Junta army. Junta army is Myanmar's army. And with Myanmar's are also Buddhists, but they are Mahayanis. and the Rakhines are Theravada. There never was a conflict between Mahayana and Hinayana, what they call is Theravada. There never was a conflict, but here it comes like that because the junta army is a plant of China. It's China who makes the junta army thrive in Myanmar because China wants to control them. Myanmar's democracy was destroyed by the junta army at the instance of China just because they wanted a more say. You see, I've told you before also that China has this habit of encroaching into the neighbor's property. They are doing with every neighbor, including that of us, Bharat. Such a large nation, such a large population, much better army as compared to many others, but still. And China, I don't think can stand, at least in valor and strength, with our army. They have technology, all right, but we are also not short of anything. So I don't think China will walk over with Bharat if they come, and their soldiers are not that brave. I'm sorry to say that. Soldiers, it's actually wrong to say a particular section of soldiers are not brave, but then they are not brave. I have to say that. And even Pakistanis are not very brave. They're boisterous. That's the difference between Pakistan and China. One is boisterous, one is silent, but both are in effect the same thing. No, anyway. So China wanted to have their way in Myanmar, so they destroyed the democracy of Myanmar, and people are put in jail, and the junta army has its way, and they have their rules. In the meantime, what happened is the Arakan Army had, by and large, started controlling many portions of Myanmar as well, apart from Rakhine province. Now this thing is happening side by side, but the Bangladesh army, look at their relationship between Arakan army and Bangladesh army themselves. It's very strange and striking. They have good relations. And recently, the Arakan army has gone into 10 kilometers plus to Bangladesh, went in to celebrate a water festival. I really don't know what the water festival is. It's a local custom, local festival done by the Chittagong Hill tribes. This district is Bandarban district. That district is Bandarban district. Arakan Army comes into the Bandarban district, blends with the Chittagong Hill tribes, and celebrates the water festival. Now, Chittagong Hills tribes have a different story also. They are still under the king of Tripura. Tripura is in Bharat. They still respect the king of Tripura. They, to the extent, said, "Your Highness, give us an order. We will snatch this area and give it to you." Tripura king is no more holding any kingdom. He is still there. Wonderful big palace in Tripura if you happen to go there. Great palace. And that Tripura has their own history, starting with Shankar Bhagavan. Tripurari is a name we give, is another name of Shankar Bhagavan. That's a different story anyway. So they respect Tripura king. They emotionally belong to Tripura king. They are not by and large under the control of Jamaat-e-Islami. They are not Muslims, most of them. So that's a kind of hold which Arakan Army has. So Arakan Army walks in, and interestingly, the Bangladesh Army, border security for all those people, the Bangladesh Army just joins the celebrations instead of throwing them, instead of fighting them, joins the celebrations. Now, Jamaat-e-Islam is bugged. Jamaat-e-Islam is in support of Muhammad Yunus. They are bugged, they are angry, they are telling you are doing anti-Islamic things, celebrating festival. Of course, it's anti-Islamic to them. I don't know what is that supposed to mean. It's anti-Islamic to them. So you're doing anti-Islamic things, and why Yunus is not intervening? But Yunus cannot intervene because Yunus party is this party, Jamaat-e-Islami, and that instigated student group. That's all. and even they themselves are not happy with the advices of the advisor Yunus. So Bangladesh Army did not object, they joined the festival. Now what can we read is that the Bangladesh Army is implicitly or explicitly in support of the Arakan Army. Now is it so that the Bangladesh Army is going to take over? I don't think that this Wakharul Zaman is interested to create another General Irshad like military rule in Bangladesh. I don't think so. But in all likelihood, he would like to get the former Prime Minister back. The former Prime Minister, I shouldn't know that she is still the Prime Minister in exile. The Prime Minister in exile, who is in Bharat, somewhere in Bharat, he would want her to be back, and in order to do that, he should conduct elections. And in elections, in all likelihood, she will again come into power as Prime Minister. Last time also she came into power, but then she should have noticed the indication from the opposition Bangladesh National Party who boycotted the election. That was an indication. She should have taken it seriously. She did not. Anyway, that's the kind of politics they do. So it appears that the Bangladesh Army wants democracy. They don't want to make it into military rule as well as possible. And they wanted elections to be held. And they obviously want the the Prime Minister in exile back. And perhaps they would also take the support of Arakan Army. And the Arakan Army, are these days very well equipped, and they would in turn support Arakan Army to get full control of Myanmar. All these possibilities are there in front of us. I am only partially speculating based on the real movements on ground, the real things happening on the ground. I don't know how much time it's going to take, but it's worth watching. It's worth watching. We shall come again with some other story. Namaste. Jai Bharat. Jai Sri Ram.